Hi, I'm Tom McCarthy, and I am in my favorite cinema, the Film Forum on Houston Street. I remember I was apartment shopping. I had made about a couple of movies, and I had just enough money to buy a place in Manhattan. My real estate agent showed me just 2 blocks on 6th Avenue an apartment, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like 2 blocks from Film Forum. This is amazing. I love it. She's like, you should see the apartment. I'm like, oh yeah, we should do a walkthrough. And I just kept thinking, this is my life. I'm gonna sleep late, go to movies, write for 2 hours, go back to movie. And those 3 years from like 96 to 99, where I really started deep dive into cinema, especially European cinema, world cinema. And that has hugely impacted my life and my work. It's around then that I was writing The Station Agent. And I kept coming to this theater for inspiration and seeing films and filmmakers I'd just never heard of. I was very uneducated at that point in my life. My focus was on acting in the theater. Although I had appreciated and loved movies, I wasn't a fan of real cinema. I think that's pretty much the mission of Film Forum, right?
What makes Film Forum unique is that our mission is to present films regardless of commercial value. So we're not just about blockbusters. Our programmers are incredibly dedicated and incredibly thorough. We scour festivals, watch over 700 films every year, all over the globe, looking for the greatest cinema to present.
We don't show films as you could find in the main theaters. We show diverse kind of movies, German movies, Spanish, African, every type. So I think everybody has some share in it. It's not like age related. You have schools coming to see a movie, old men, youngsters coming. So I see Film Forum as preserving that atmosphere, that idea that if I go to Film Forum, I'll see something good.
The reason is because it's curated by people who know and love movies, right? And they're putting movies together in certain ways. They're putting retrospectives together. And if you just get there's nothing more exciting when I get the mailer from Film Forum and I can open it up. It's one of the few things I still keep because it's just cool. And I'll look at it when I'm bored, and now my daughter's into looking at it and finding what appeals to her. So that's a big part of this place. But I think for me, this place is more about world cinema, European cinema. And there's not many of those left in the city, not to mention the country. So I try to support it every way I can.
Film Forum started out in the 70s with only 50 seats and 1 projector. So when you're small like that, you have no choice but to be in touch with the community. In 1980, we moved to Watch Street, but we came here in 1990. We've been here ever since. I think we've continued that tradition, even though we're up to 4 projectors and almost 500 seats. We haven't changed that small mindset. So Film Forum basically runs on the support of our generous donors. We're not affiliated with any other theaters, and we are nonprofit, which is amazing because we're the only one in New York and we're out of very few in the US. So anybody that supported us by becoming a member, donating, even buying a t-shirt or a tote, we're here because of them.
When I lived in this building at Charlton, it's a massive building, it's the whole block. It really feels like New York, the people in there. They're just all sorts. They're like the weirdos that make up this great city, and I consider myself a part of that. And that building felt like that. And when you come here, it feels like that. The guys with the shopping bags. I almost got in a fight with these 2 guys at a Douglas Sirk movie. I mean, that just seems sort of ironic, but a little bit meta. And it was like, they were something I was doing. They got upset and they turned and confronted me. And I was with my editor and he was like, we can't get in a fight at Film Forum, not at a Douglas Sirk movie.
Film Forum's community is very eccentric, but in the best way possible. We really do our best to foster everyone's excitement to go to the theater. We have groups of people that come in regularly that we know. I think that connection between the customers that come here and the staff that works here is really unique.
What I love about this theater is inevitably someone will have a reaction to a moment, and then people will react to that reaction. Like this movie ended the other night, and some guy just goes, ugh. And the whole place cracked up. And I'm like, okay, we're not just responding to the end, we're responding to that gentleman's reaction to that shot. And I'm like, those are people who are paying attention. Those are people, you're like, damn it, I wish the filmmaker could have been here. He might not have liked it, but you can't deny the connection to it, you know.
People who come to see movies over here kind of understand what movies are. So we try to maintain that kind of quality. I quite remember a time where these projectors are such that you can program them to run 25 frames per second instead of 24. And I didn't know, accidentally, I engaged the 25 format. So the film kind of ran maybe a minute or two faster. So a customer walked out and he said, no, this print is not right. And I said, no. Then I look on the projector and I realized that it was my mistake. I mean, just imagine you have Scorsese on it. Sometimes just he and his staff, and sometimes just by himself. So you just imagine you have those people in the audience, so you have to be very, very careful. You have to be on top of your game to work here.
I think films are so important, especially now, because it's a means of escape. I don't know about you, but I don't want to think about the past year at all. I want to come here in a cool AC'd room and watch amazing films and obsess about them for the next day and a half. And I think everybody who comes here wants to do the same.
I walked out of the scene, left the scene the other night, and I almost got emotional. Just sitting in a movie by a filmmaker I didn't know anything about and being challenged by it, laughing by it, I just felt like the past right now. In a time where cinema is in a very confused place and movies are in a confused place, like that just gives me such, I don't know, gives me hope. I think sometimes people underestimate, really deeply underestimate the experience of seeing a movie with an audience and getting lost. Because I don't care who you are. If you're in that movie theater and you take out your phone and check your text or email, someone will let you know, right? And they should, okay? You're at home, you can do that all the time. You know, and if you have to get up to go to the bathroom, you do it at home. You don't think twice about it. You think twice about it in a movie theater. You're like, how much longer do I have? I don't want to miss this. Because it ain't coming back, you know? And I feel like there's just no different. It's such a more immersive and complete experience to see it in a movie theater. And, you know, anyone that feels differently, I don't think has a real true and deep appreciation for movies. I don't know how they could say otherwise.
Stillwater.
You're the father of the American student?
Yes, ma'am. My daughter came to France from Stillwater. She's been in jail for 5 years. There's a new lead.
You must accept her sentence.
You were supposed to visit and come home.
You're gonna need to trust me on this.
That's not how it works here.
I still wonder about what?
It will be a serious mistake to try to get her out of jail. Do you believe she's innocent?
I know she is.
Stillwater. Rated R.